Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is June the 18th, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. I had a very good Tuesday. I will get into some of the reasons of why, but let's see here. Where do you want to start? We'll actually start with the food corner this time. Last night we had pasta, pretty classic, OG move, pasta bolognese. Let's see here, big salad, and the bolillo roll and the bagel all went down very nice, very yummy. Also, I will say, it's always nice when you crack open a fresh thing of pesto. Oh my gosh, I'm still vibing off of that. Let's see here. But then let's segue into today, this morning. I woke up, and I've had this hankering for since last week. I've wanted munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts. I've wanted them so bad. I know I'm supposed to be doing better with the food, whatever. Fuck that shit. I don't care. I wanted that. I wanted that and a coffee. I was just feeling that. So I decided, hey, I'm going to make it happen. And I went before work to go get said things. Then when I was in the line, I was like, you know what? Since I'm already here, let me go ahead and get a sausage and egg breakfast sandwich. And I will say their breakfast sandwiches are pretty good. I feel like I have to be in the mood for them. But yeah, they're pretty quality for a breakfast sammy. But here's where the sweet part comes in, because this is probably the sweetest thing that's happened to me all month, and probably is going to happen all month, maybe all year, I dare say. But, I drove up, and it was literally the corny ass pay it forward thing that is never going to happen to me. But some lady, some nice lady, they paid for my food. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So yeah, I really appreciated that. I was kind of floating on cloud nine throughout the whole day. And not to mention today was easy. Really the hardest part is just staying hydrated. It's just still so hot. It's crazy that worldwide we're breaking temperatures of over 100 degrees. It's rough out there. So please, once again, stay safe. I know I'm going to keep saying that because I feel like it's just important to, keep mentioning every time I remember that. That being said, though, at least, the weather is nice and hot and not just hot. So there's that. I mean, at least hopefully here in good old Cincinnati, Ohio. All right, so we've ranted about ourselves, and that felt good. We got that out. Yeah. Let me go ahead and do my startup, and we'll get into some news. Oh, also, want to say shout out. We got 2 new YouTube subscribers. I'm so excited about that. It really means a lot. We are 1 step or 2 steps closer. Oh my gosh, 2 whole steps closer to 69. Nice. So yeah, hopefully we get there soon. But yeah, I mean, thank you for subscribing. Also, thank you to anyone who has followed on the TikTok. I'm still keeping up with that. That feels good. But yeah, that's nice, and we love to see it. So thank you very much. But yeah, let me go ahead and do my startup, and we will go ahead and get into it. Ooh, actually, while I'm loading up, a little bit of side news. Apparently, Justin Timberlake got arrested for a DWI or something like that. So that happened. Feel free to look up that if you want to get a little pop news. But that's not what we're here for today. Let's see. From the Associated Press, Thailand's Senate overwhelmingly approves a landmark bill to legalize same-sex marriages. So we love to see it. Hoorah. What a dub on Pride Month. Thailand's Senate voted overwhelmingly on Tuesday to approve a bill that would legalize same-sex marriage, clearing the last legislative hurdle for the country to become the first in Southeast Asia to enact such a law. Thailand has a reputation for acceptance and inclusivity, but has struggled for decades to pass a marriage equality law. Thai society largely holds conservative values, and members of the LGBTQ plus community say they face discrimination in everyday life. The government and state agencies are also historically conservative, and advocates for gender equality have had a hard time pushing lawmakers and civil servants to accept change. Thailand will become the I scrolled the wrong way. Thailand will become the third place in Asia after Taiwan and Nepal to allow same-sex marriage. The Marriage Equality Bill, which grants full legal, financial, and medical rights for marriage partners of any gender, sailed through the House of Representatives right before the previous parliamentary session concluded in April with the approval of 400 of the 415 who were present, which I believe we covered earlier in the year, around the time that happened. But yes, it passed its final reading in the Senate on Tuesday with the approval of 130 of the 152 members in attendance, with 4 voting against it and 18 abstaining. Let's see here. The bill now needs the pro forma endorsement of King Majavaralakron, and I know I got that wrong because I literally tried to do the pronunciation thing, and I knew I wasn't going to do that because I just couldn't hit it. That felt like a cheat code to do. So, 1,000 pardons, Your Excellency? Yes. I was going to say excellency. That's not even a word. But yes, the King, they, followed by its publication in the Government Gazette, which will set a date within 120 days when it becomes effective. So, hell yeah. Did want to talk about a little bit of a snag, though, but it was not approved without a hitch. One member of the Senate, retired Army General Warapong Sag Naganet, argued that the gender-specific terms should still be included in the law along with the gender-neutral terms. He said excluding them would be a severe subversion of the institution of family in Thailand. I don't see how or why. Once again, this is just a guy being like, I'm mad about pronouns. I'm making this about pronouns, a thing that everyone uses almost every day. All right, brother, I guess we'll let you have the floor. We'll let you talk your shit. But after the vote, Plifa Kyoka Soledad, an 18-year-old who identifies as non-binary, took the floor and thanked everyone who supported the legislation, calling it a force for hope that will help Thailand become more accepting of diversity. Today, love triumphs prejudice. We love to see that. Also, reading this, I don't know if I covered Nepal, because I think that happened in 2023, so that should have been on my beat, should have been on my radar. Sorry if I missed that, but hell yeah, we love to see it. This is a bit of positive progress. You know what I'm saying? These are the kind of stories I really do love to talk about, is seeing people in a year that we're calling a modern age of, sophisticated people just being able to live their lives like they should be, like the way they always should be. You know what I mean? We just love to see that shit. But let's see. Got to talk about the good. We got to tend it with the bad. Also, I have to add, I'm sweating profusely. So, if you, hear me, hit the thud, hit the ground, because I just passed out, it's that. WLWT5. The shooter who killed 5 at a Colorado LGBTQ plus club pleads guilty to 50 federal hate crimes. The shooter who killed 5 people and injured 19 others at a nightclub in Colorado Springs pleaded guilty to 50 federal hate crime charges on Tuesday. Anderson Lee Aldrich, 24, is already serving life in prison after pleading guilty to state charges in the 2022 shooting last year. Federal prosecutors have focused on proving that the attack at Club Q, a sanctuary for LGBTQ plus people in the mostly conservative city, was premeditated and fueled by bias. Aldrich entered the guilty pleas under a deal with prosecutors that allows the shooter to avoid the death penalty and instead be sentenced to multiple life sentences for the hate crimes, plus a total of 190 years on gun charges and other counts. I feel like this is, and correct me if I'm fucking wrong here, but this is, they're burying him in time, so there's no way that like there's like a way that you can parole out of this kind of situation. And essentially the deal for him, or I shouldn't say him, because they say that they are non-binary, though it is potentially alleged they're just doing that to try to like soften the blow in the situation for what they did, their premeditated massacre. I might be using that wrong, the word, but y'all know what I'm fucking saying. I know it's like a mass shooting, what have you. But at the same time, I do want to try to do the best I can to respect people's fucking pronouns. It's not goddamn hard to do. And if you fuck up, all you have to say is, I'm sorry, my bad, and actually just try to do better. It's not difficult. People act like they can't make a mistake and they like want to die on weird heels. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. Defense attorneys in the state case who said their client is non-binary and uses they-them pronouns argued that Aldrich was drugged up on cocaine and medication at the time. In phone calls from jail with the Associated Press last year, Aldrich didn't answer directly when asked whether the attack was motivated by hate, saying only that's completely off base, and did not reveal the motivation to the AP or in state court. I personally do not believe anything that Aldrich is saying. They had a whole campaign here. They had a whole premeditated setup to do this, and they carried it out without any hesitation, it seems. And I'm glad that there were people in that moment that stepped up and turned a very grim situation and at least stopped it from being getting any worse. But yeah, I mean, it's a tragic situation, and it's one of those things where like I came back to it and I realized like in a lot of ways, like I don't know, maybe like a lot of us maybe have like this shit sucks. And I remember even like seeing shit like when I was scrolling through Facebook talking about Club Pulse, another situation, where there was like a shooting and people lost their lives. But that is just like, this is a constant motif, and it's so hard to like keep carrying on, and it's yes, it's specific in the situation because we are talking about a group of people who have been ostracized, exiled, hated on. But like in America, these shootings are just it's literally like a dime a dozen, and people just come up with whatever reason they want to just pick up a gun and use it. And it's so fucking sad to me. And it's sad too where I hear people act like they have this exceptionalism when it comes to America, and like they think that we're just so ahead of our time and we're so socially progressive somehow. And I'm like, brother, where? How? Like, we are killing people because they are simply different from us, or like I covered the other fucking day, because it's like stupid ass dumb arguments or dumb beefs. Like it breaks my heart every time I cover these kind of stories. So yeah, I mean, at least in this situation, I guess you can say, hey, justice is served. But at the same time, I also ask myself once again, like, this is why I get so upset and offended by that statement of like, oh, like, we're just doing so much better than like other countries, these backwoods countries and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, we're not, dude. We're just not. We're not safe. Every time I even go out for my little ass fucking walks, I still have that fear. And I remember when I was younger, I'm like, Isaiah, you're just being crazy. You're just being irrational. That's just your little anxiety. But it's not. It's not. This is a fear of that every person of color, every person who has a different, like, who's not a cis-het man, more or less. Cis-het white man. I might as well go ahead and fucking say it. It is scary to be outside. It's scary to exist. And it shouldn't be. It just fucking shouldn't be. So yeah, I mean, that's part of my motivation for covering this shit. Why, like, even though it's like, hey, it sucked to cover this shit when it happened, it sucks now, years later to cover the sentencing. Like, yeah, you can say like, okay, at least he's this person, or I shouldn't say they are in jail. And that's that, I guess you can say, but it's not, and we know it's not, and it doesn't bring anybody back. But, the least we can do is just, not forget. And keep on going, keep on keeping on, keep on loving, don't fucking change. You know what I mean? Keep doing this shit. That's my shit to y'all, at least to say, I guess. While I'm in this fucking rant here, don't let these motherfuckers change us. Don't let these motherfuckers change you. Be yourself. Be your authentic ass motherfucking self. Okay, let's go to the next thing. From Good Morning America. Good morning, America. Biden announces relief for some undocumented spouses of citizens, dreamers. President Joe Biden on Tuesday announced 2 new election year executive actions that could provide relief to thousands of undocumented immigrants who have been in the country for several years. Today's a good day, Biden said, to cheers from an audience at the White House. The first action aims to streamline the process through which undocumented spouses and undocumented children of U.S. citizens apply for lawful permanent residence. The policy will allow non-citizen spouses married to U.S. citizens to apply to live and work in the United States legally without having to leave the country. Non-citizen children of applicants would also be eligible for protection. Under current laws, some undocumented migrants must first leave the U.S. and apply for legal residency from their home countries when they marry a citizen. In some cases, those migrants are barred from returning to the U.S. for up to 10 years. So it's crazy that, oh, wow, we're on an election year, and we know that Joe Biden just fucking shut down asylum, and that's crazy. That's fucked up. That seems very unethical, very not humanitarian. Not very liberal, Joe. So it's almost like he's like throwing this bone out to try to balance the scale. And in a way, it's like, okay, cool. But then it just, once again, just highlights more glaring inefficiencies on Biden and the border. And I don't mean like he's letting too many in. I mean that he's handled this the same goddamn way that Donald Trump has. So how, what are we doing here? Like, at the end of the day, Trump was the one in 2017 that even canceled the DACA program, the whole thing with Dreamers. So it's crazy that even so, we have the people who are here under that bubble, you know, that protection, and they've been fighting for their literal lives to stay here and paying so much money. I listened to a story from someone from Start Here. They paid I think over $10,000, and they're still in this limbo whether they don't know. Every 2 years, it's like, I could get deported. And it's like, literally, that means the nation state is milking this person. And not to mention, they're working, they're trying to do all the shit that they can, just be a normal citizen, and they don't even know if they get to continue that. You know? It's just stuck in a certain kind of fucking hell or purgatory, if you will. I don't know, if you're fucking Catholic. So I guess cool. Thanks, Joe. That this is nice that you're finally doing this. Granted, it's one of those executive orders, so just like his asylum shit is gonna probably get caught up legally. I'm sure this is gonna get caught up legally. Like I said, there are the strings to it. To be eligible for the program, non-citizen spouses must have been in the U.S. for at least 10 years as of June 17th, 2024, without having been previously legally admitted into the country. Or paroled into the country. They also must have been legally married to a U.S. citizen as of the same date and must also be deemed to not pose a threat to public safety or national security. If found eligible, the spouses would be given 3 years to apply for legal permanent residence. Like, this is just starting to sound like the fucking, we gave you a cell phone at the border. It doesn't work, but this will work eventually, and we promise you're going to become an American soon. You're going to get in, and it'll be okay. And then it's like, no, it's like, you're not. You're going to be stuck in Juarez, and you're just going to be hoping that you make it till tomorrow. So, once again, this is our progressive fucking, just a car. Joe Biden. Goddamn Joe Byron. So as we creep toward this election, it makes me so fucking sick, dude. Because I've told y'all, I cannot push for this man. I can't. I know that am on a rail where I'm gonna probably vote for this fucking bastard. But at the end of the day, I refuse to give him any fucking cool points. Say, oh, look at Dark Brandon. Fuck that shit, dude. So it just is what it is. You take the good with the bad, and the happy with the goddamn sad. And I know it's mostly been tears here, but we got to cover it. We got to talk about that shit a little bit. We got to squawk. So yeah, we'll go ahead and call that covered for now. I got one more thing to talk about before my brain melts. But yeah, let me go ahead and take my last break. And you know what? I'm going to add some water because I think I deserved it and needed it. But we are keeping it political. Going to Maryland. I think shout out to the Turpins. They still got a Turgle thing for a university. I don't know. I'm talking out my ass at this point. My boiled booty hole. Okay. Our last story comes from PBS. Maryland Governor Wes Moore to issue more than 175,000 pardons for low-level marijuana convictions. Maryland Governor Wes Moore is scheduled to sign an executive order to issue more than 150,000 pardons for marijuana convictions Monday, the governor's office said. The administration is describing the pardons as the largest state pardon to date. The governor's action regarding cases relating to use of paraphernalia make Maryland the first state to take such an act. The pardons will forgive low-level marijuana possession charges for an estimated 100,000 people, according to the Washington Post, which first reported the order Sunday night. Moore plans to sign the executive order Monday in the state capitol in Annapolis, with Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown in attendance. That's the picture I have in the thumbnail. Let's see here. Recreational cannabis was legalized in Maryland in 2023 after voters approved a constitutional amendment in 2022 with 67% of the vote. Maryland decriminalized possession of personal use amounts of cannabis on January 1st, 2023. Now, 24 states and the District of Columbia have legalized recreational cannabis. So, I do want to add that, this is low-level misdemeanor stuff. All these people who are getting their shit pardoned, and it is specific to say pardoned and not expunged, they are already, they're not serving any time. So, this is very, low hassle. It's a very easy political fucking, football to kick for some points. So I get why this is happening. Okie day. That being said, once again, it's still a good thing. Though it's not an expungement, it's at least a forgiveness. And I think that that's something that helps when you have something like this on your record. You know what I mean? It helps when I mean, getting a job and things of that nature. So we will say we love to see it, even if, once again, it is just for a point, to say, hey, aren't we doing something cool and progressive? Don't you like this? Don't you like weed? And it's yes, I fucking do, of course. I like marijuana. I like that you are, doing the right ethical thing, at least to a point. You should go much farther, but, okay, at least we're crawling towards the right direction. So I'll take it. You know what I mean? Interesting year for marijuana. But yeah, that's where we'll leave it for today. Let's see. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, become a newsie today. I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. The financial support really does help out. Whether it's just me getting a coffee, whether it's a big grand master plan of getting new equipment, you never know. Just really depends on the level of support I get. But that being said, you do get a shout out. Like I've said before, those are back on the menu. And, we love to do it. And let's see here. You get old archive stuff, but that's whatever. Let's see. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. And then feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. And once again, thank you to the YouTube subscribers. Once again, trying to get those numbers up. Let's get to 69. And, leave a like. Comments are great. Sharing is caring. Do that on any of the platforms that you're listening on. Really, truly, it does mean a lot. But point blank and boil it all the way down, you just listening means the world to me. Knowing that I'm not alone in this world, because I had a moment today where I had a rare moment where I wanted to talk about a political thing with a friend, and I felt a little doe crawling out of a forest. Because, like, I've talked, politics with this person before, but, like, I felt very vulnerable because y'all hear me talk and I feel like such a fucking dumbass. So, like, I'm trying to get, like, a point across because I want to learn or understand a thing. And they were very helpful and it was very nice. And that meant the world to me. So I can't imagine what it's like to be on the other side of this, listening to my crazy ass. I know I'm a hater and I talk shit on people I watch and listen to on a daily basis. So, hey, thank you though for powering through that and listening to me. I know you're in the after hours right now. Like, no one's listening this far. And if you are right now, you're the realest one in the room. Right now, you, me, right? Whew, that's crazy. So thanks so much for that. You're the realest. You're the coolest. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.